So, what are some of your tattoos of?
So my tattoos are all of things I've achieved in life. The sleeve on my right arm is all the artwork from an album that I released. Things related to my wife, marriage, fulfillment of life, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's a real mixture.
It's the samurai soldier and 2 kanji characters.
You've got more than one tattoo?
You
just got one?
Well, yeah, it's a samurai soldier there,
Yeah.
kanji characters at the top.
What's a kanji character?
It's a Japanese writing.
What does it mean?
It means black fox.
You don't have any tattoos, do you?
I don't at the moment.
No. Are you planning to get any tattoos?
Yes. Yeah.
What of?
I'm getting a mandala and Sanskrit down my back.
What's a mandala and Sanskrit?
It's mandalas are like they're round patterns, and they're usually associated with Buddhism and meditation and peace.
Where did you get the tattoo?
I had it done in London by a guy called Michael Rosen. He's one of the UK's top tattoo artists.
Was it expensive?
It was very expensive.
Is there a meaning behind the tattoo?
Yeah, there is. I've done martial arts since I was 11. And the last one I did before I had an accident was becoming a samurai. So
Technically, you're a samurai.
technically, yeah.
Can you give us an example of what are the tattoos, or what do they mean, and just there's a story behind it?
Yeah, like I say, this one on my arm is it's all my lyrics turned into artwork for an album that I did. Obviously, because it was a great achievement being released on a record label. I got it tattooed onto my arm. It's very personal.
What do you think about the modern day opinion of tattoos compared to, I don't know, the 50s or something?
I don't know. The 50s they did have quite a lot of tattoos, especially the rockabillys, the boys and the girls. They had them on their arms, and they were quite statement pieces. And today, I think that's kind of come around. That fashion's come back around again. So I think back then, obviously, people that have had tattoos, they had to cover them up for work and stuff. But nowadays, I'd say it's a lot more accepted, especially in schools and colleges.
Tattoo designs, modern examples of an age-old custom which has literally left its mark on mankind. They're on show at one of Britain's oddest institutions, the Bristol Tattoo Club. It's a men-only club, men who really have let this form of art get under their skin. Each week they meet and show each other new designs they've had tattooed on their bodies.
So you obviously don't regret the tattoo.
Absolutely.
Well, how old were you when you got the tattoo?
50.
It's not a usual age to get into the first tattoo.
No, I sort of thought I'd have a tattoo when I was about 19, 20. I fancied having one, but I could never find anything I wanted. And I felt that, and I still feel that if you're going to have a tattoo, it needs to be important and mean something to the person who's having it done. Would I have it done for art's sake? No.
Yeah, I was 17. I was coming up to 18. It weren't long away. And the first tattoo was a band around my arm, actually. It's been incorporated now into the sleeve. But yeah, that's what I did when I was 17.
So what, you got it done because you wanted to connect to your past?
Yeah, it was a bit of a long story, but basically I went and I was doing a shoot in London, and there was a very famous hypnotist in the studio next door, TV guy, and we met in the canteen having coffee, and we were talking about regression, and I said I didn't believe in it. And he said, okay, come to my studio in King's Cross and I'll prove to you it works. So I went down there, can't remember anything about it until he played me the tape back, and it explained that basically I was this Japanese samurai in 1634. But what made it really, really creepy was that I've always been known as the Fox since I was a kid. Fox, yeah. And the Black Fox come from a company I created a few years back, and when you become a samurai you adopt a name, or they give you a name. And apparently this guy's name in 1634 was Black Fox.
My favourite currently is definitely the Gypsy Girl on my arm, because that relates to my wife. So that's kind of my favourite, because it's a mixture of her colour, heritage, and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's a real accumulation of everything to do with my wife. So it's not a life portrait of her, but it's a resemblance of her life. So that's definitely my favourite, I'd say. Yeah.
If I have another one which I'm thinking about, it has to mean something. So I'm now thinking about having a koi, half sleeve koi fish, like a
Fish.
giant goldfish.
Is it? What's the meaning behind the koi fish?
It's Japanese. It's to do with the whole Japanese thing.
Do you enjoy the Japanese style of tattoo?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a half sleeve. when I
Half
get it
sleeve,
done.
but
Yeah,
just a
which
fish.
is like from here to here.
Do you regret any of your tattoos?
No, I wouldn't say I regret any of them. One particular came out a little bit odd. It wasn't perfect by any means, because it was done by a guy with one eye, which I didn't know about was going to happen. I don't regret it, because it's got a story behind it anyway, and it's not terrible by any means, but yeah, no regrets.
So, do you think that the culture of tattooing and the opinions have changed since you got yours or since you were young?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, my grandfather had a tattoo, but the reason they had tattoos was for identification if they were killed at war. He had 2 crosses. He had an English flag and a Union Jack, so they knew that he was British and English, and they all had them put on the back of their hands. So if they were killed on the battlefield, they could be identified by the tattoo, so they knew whether they were German or English.
Like everything, fashion has waves, and I think it will go out of style and it will be crass probably later on for you to actually have a tattoo, which I think that's one of the reasons that you should get a tattoo that actually really means something to you, rather than just covering your body in what you perceive to be art now but could regret later on.
I think it's still very much the same opinion. I think it's heavily the same. I think it's generational. So I think people, grandparents and great-grandparents who were around in the war, tattoos I think was absolutely fine, because a lot of the time it was regimental or marking something. So I think for that generation it was fine, but then our parents' generation, people who are currently in their 40s or 50s, potentially early 60s, it's not so common, so I think they still find it a little bit taboo. But then, younger generations, I think it's a mixture.
And I think it's always been related to either military, prison, believe it or not, gangs, that sort of thing. So I think there is a culture for it, and I think in the right place, yeah, it's great. But like I said before, just having it because it looks good, I don't think it's a good enough reason to literally scar your body, which is what you're doing.
Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.